Greetings, brothers and sisters. Hello and welcome back to Eva's House of Spirit. I'm Eva, for those of you who are newer to this channel. Welcome back also to my 13 Days of Samhain series. Oh my god, this hot cocoa I'm enjoying right now is so on point. The weather has gotten a lot crispier, a lot fallier. So I'm definitely feeling the season. I'm wondering how things are weather-wise with all of you. Today, while I was at work, because it felt so fall-like, I made it a point on my lunch break to go and buy some pumpkins because I enjoy, these things are heavy. I enjoy at Samhain time carving pumpkins and roasting the seeds and making things like pumpkin pie. So I went and got 2 pumpkins, one for myself and one for my husband. But, you know, those are just cute little things I just thought I'd mention. That's not really the substance of this video. This video is going to kind of center around concepts like thresholds, doorways, gateways, passages, transition, change, things like that. I'm kind of in a, I don't know, sort of meditative bent, and I thought that maybe I could share my thoughts with you, maybe get your little like hamster wheels turning. This is sort of like a, I guess you could call it like a meditation, but you don't have to be all like in lotus position and like none of that stuff. That's not necessary in this case, but regardless, I kind of wanted to talk about this. Kind of wanted to give you something to mull around in your mind. So, what sparked this whole train of thought for me is I started thinking about thresholds, threshold time. Thresholds, the overall theme of passage, of transition, of movement from one state into another. Passage is something very much at the fore, obviously, this season. We think of things like transition from light into dark, transition from life into death, transition from one season into another. These ideas, these concepts, these themes, these are not beyond us. Think in terms of macrocosm and microcosm. What is happening this season, it's a mirror for the sorts of things that happen within us. What happens in the universe as above, so below. Nothing remains static. Once the sands fall through the hourglass, there's no pushing them back up. But that's what makes life so beautiful. There are things in our own personal lives and in us that as well are very much passing from light into dark, passing from one season or state into another. Passing in a sense from life into death. How many parts of ourselves as we grow and change do die at some point? Whether they die because we've killed them off or because they could just not go on any longer. Speaking of death, this would be an excellent time of year to work with the Death Tarot card. If you don't own a deck of tarot cards, if you don't have the means to buy a deck of tarot cards, no worries. Get yourself a deck of playing cards. Whip out our friend, the Joker. He is the trickster, the harbinger of change, and the awakener of all who sleep. Maybe consider meditating on thresholds as an overall concept. Let the Reaper or the Jester be your guide as you do so. Maybe consider what doors in your life have closed. Take time to reflect upon what gateways have opened. Think about what parts of yourself or your life have changed this year, what parts of yourself or your life are yet in transition, or what aspects of your being or journey you'd like to change in the future, in the coming year. This is your journaling exercise for the day. Write about this in your Samhain journal. Really take time, I think, to reflect and introspect on this. All that I've said here. How thresholds, change, transition, doorways, all this kind of stuff, passage. It is a part of our existence, whether we like it or not. It happens around us. It happens in us. It happens universally and on a very familiar level. But the beautiful thing about it is that we are empowered as human beings, never mind as magical practitioners or spiritual seekers. We are empowered to be the captains of our fate. We have the ability to make choices, to take actions, to shape our lives to be more in line with what it is that we desire, whether we do so by magical means or mundane means. But that said, I think it's time for the question of the day. The question of the day is very open, very subjective. I invite you to go down in the comments below and tell me, when you think of the concept of thresholds, what does that bring to mind for you? Never mind what I've said. What do you feel about thresholds? Threshold time, doors, gateways, passages, transitions. I'd love to hear about that. Also, don't forget to check out the witchy link of the day in the description below. Unfortunately, I have to cut this video a little bit short. I have to be getting to bed. Sadly, work is something that I have to do. Gotta make my paper, boo-boo. Don't we all? But yeah, so I thought for tonight's video, it would be interesting to kind of think about the idea of threshold time, that now is threshold time, but that threshold time is no stranger to us. If you think about human life, there are plenty of thresholds within human life, within our own experiences. We all grow older. That's a transition, that's a change. And it's an ongoing transition or change. At some point in everyone's life, we all come to forks in the road. Those are thresholds, those crossroads periods. There are times when things begin in our lives, and there are times when things end in our lives. We have losses, we have gains, as I said before. Doors close, doors open. Gateways close, gateways open, however you want to see it, we are constantly, perpetually passing through thresholds on so many levels, in so many ways, at so many times. So I hope this video has provided you some food for thought. I hope that you will think about it. Maybe, as I said before, do some meditation with the Death Tarot card. This is actually the Death Tarot card from the Gothic Tarot. It's a limited edition tarot deck by Layla Wendell. This is the little card that comes with it. I have deck number 79 out of 1,000. Found it at a flea market in Pennsylvania once. I think I may have even showed this off on my channel at some point in the past. But, yeah, let all this kind of bounce around in your head. See where it takes you. And remember, while this time of year, many of us are, undergoing things like shadow work. We are, kind of like the hermit, going within, seeking enlightenment in the darkness. But we are also magicians, magical practitioners. We are empowered to create change and conformity through will. But that statement right there, to create change and conformity through will, does not necessarily mean by magical means. There are many ways that we can create change in the flow of our lives through our will, through our desires, through the metaphorical element of fire. Let this kind of sink in. Absorb this for a little bit. Let your mind kind of explore this. And until tomorrow, until our next exchange, you all stay awesome. And bye-bye for now. Blessed be and Ashe.